Hello everyone, welcome to the Lost Harbor Tavern, or actually the Lost Shipyard, because this is on the second channel, unless you're listening on Spotify. In case you didn't know, this is a little bit of a new campaign. Normally, I'm gonna be honest, normally we don't do an intro like this for the beginning of a campaign. However, considering what this is, it's just a bit easier to do it like this, let's be frank. Because all the players, which we have 3 players here, we have Acrid, who plays Redacted.
Yep.
We have Dylan, who plays Redacted.
Don't you mean
Bitch.
Yep. And we
Your
have
name ain't that
Anya,
long.
who's playing Redacted.
Hi, my brain is mush.
Yeah.
I have been told that my character's intel is non-existent.
Your intel is redacted and your charisma is redacted. That is what we all know. That is the only thing we know.
Yep. As welcome
So
to the
I've been
Amnesia
listening
campaign.
to Caramel Manson for the last little bit, trying to melt my brain. Problem, I'm intelligent by nature. This is not normal. My brain is mush.
I wanted to try and get
Send
everybody out
help.
of their comfort zone, and now I've done
Yep.
so. Quite
Send
literally.
So far, I'm fine with mine. It's my int and charisma match up pretty much fine. So
That's fair. That's fair. Basically, for those who don't know, this is the way this has worked. They're going to be learning who they are as characters throughout this little mini campaign. It's not going to be a big campaign. It's just a little mini campaign, just for us to kind of goof around, have a good time. And there's a few little things that should be mentioned about this. The only things they know are their names. They know their intelligence modifier, and they know, or their intelligence, and they know their, their charisma.
Charisma.
And I gave them 3 words each to describe their characters, to kind of like have at least some basis of a template of a personality to work with. Everything else, they're gonna have to learn themselves.
oh boy, I am not.
Yeah. As the 3 of you, I'm gonna start waking up around the like somewhat the same time. The first to actually wake up would be, and I'm gonna roll something here. I'm gonna roll a d4.
Oh no.
All right. I love how I rolled that and then didn't put any numbers onto the player in my head. I should. Okay.
Yeah, no, hey, that might help you.
Yeah, that might help.
Like I done that for us.
Yeah. Okay. So Dylan,
hi?
bye. Okay. So Acrid.
Ah.
No, there you go, dude.
Aw,
There he is. All right. So
don't
your
leave.
character is the first to wake up, and despite not knowing what you are, you don't
Okay.
seem to remember anything. When you wake up, it feels like almost like you don't have a past. It feels like if you had one, you may have forgotten it, which is a little weird. You've woken up in a forest, and you can see that there are 2 other people that are actively knocked out as well, but they seem to be starting to like come to consciousness. Just out of curiosity, the one thing that you can seem to remember is your name. What is your name?
I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Struck?
Streelk.
Streak? Strelk?
Streelk.
Triok.
Streelk.
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 Triok.
Streelk.
Triok.
Streelk.
Okay, I feel like I'm doing it right.
You can also just go by Streak if you want it.
I'm sorry, my brain just went tree.
That works. You could also
Okay.
just call yourself Streak if you wanted. It's really just Streak, but with an L right before the K. Streak.
Okay, got it. I'm just gonna go ahead and ask.
Mhm.
Could I just go ahead and look at my arms, my outfit, just like what am I wearing, what are my arms like, that kind of deal?
Cool. So obviously you won't be able to get I won't be sending the picture of your character in just yet because you can't see yourself because there's no mirror, but when you kind of like stretch out your arms to kind of look at yourself, there's a few things you're going to realize here, right? You
Okay.
have these very dark purple hands, and they seem to have a little bit of fur on it. Not a lot, but just a little.
Fuck, I'm a turtle.
The other thing that you seem to notice, you only have 2 arms, so you're not a Durla.
Never mind.
The other thing you would realize is that you have accessories on your sleeve. You have this like kind of like dark, I'd say it's like a dark navy or a dark purple type of colored like sleeve that you're seeing here.
Okay.
And you seem to have like, you know, some like bracelets and just like random jewelry up on like your wrists and even on the sleeve bits, you know, completely golden. And there seems to be like a white undershirt underneath it as well that's kind of like popping out from the collar just slightly past the natural sleeve. When you
Got
look
it.
down on yourself, you can see that you're wearing some type of suit. Which seems to be like, again, that very like dark purple suit around the sleeve area, but like the end bit of the collar, which seems to be kind of popped outwards, is black. The rest of outside of it, it is just a more dark purple. But when you pop open that collar bit, which you actively have showing, it has this like black, just slick black velvet-like feeling to it. With this like golden decor, almost floral-like. And then you seem to notice that you have a lighter purple vest underneath that with a white undershirt underneath the vest. You seem to be wearing
Man's
some
got
type of
clothing.
black dress pants, and you seem to have an obscene amount of golden necklaces on you.
Ah.
And a pendant
Okay.
on that undershirt. Those are the things that you realize.
Could I inspect the pendant? Like, if it's, I don't know, spark something in my head?
You can. So what you'll do is you are going to unlock your first ever skill before anybody else. You are
Okay.
going to roll me a investigation check, and what you're going to do, you're going to roll it, and you are going to, just go ahead and roll it. And let me know what your natural is. I'll let you know what you have for your modifier, and you'll be able to jot that down.
A minute. That's that 5.
So, fun little fact about this, you have a +1 in investigation.
Ah. I'm
Now-
doing numbers.
Yeah, now I will mention that if you're trying to jog your memory, normally it's a history thing, but because you said investigate, I said fuck it, I'm gonna make it investigate.
Got it.
So, yeah, so like you kind of like look around with it, so remember to jot down investigation, you have a +1, no proficiency.
Understood.
You kind of just like look at it, nothing's coming to mind.
Okay. After investigating that, he'll just kind of try to sort of get his bearings, and he'll say, what was I doing? Hey, you two, over there. Are you okay?
As you
Well,
say that,
to the other 2.
I will roll something real quick. Okay. Anya, your character, as you said that, was just starting to get up. Would you like to introduce the name of your character?
Yes, I will be playing a character named Tahira.
Yep.
Fucking God, I will never say that right.
If you want to simplify it, you can just say Tahira. Because I know you can't really roll your R's that well. But yeah. Tahira.
T. T. Her name's T now.
Okay.
I spent most of my life, well, a good portion of my formative years, living in an area that mostly spoke Spanish.
Yep.
Kind of learned to speak like they did.
I get it.
So I
Alright.
just kind of naturally roll my R's, and I've also had a lot of influence from anime, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love anime.
Heck yeah, we love that here. I totally haven't watched over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. So,
Yeah,
what is-
definitely not.
Definitely not. Acrid, your character is still, like, he's still coming to be, so he isn't getting up quite just yet. But,
God damn it.
Anya, at the very least, are you going to immediately respond to him, or are you going to kind of, like, look around, you trying to get a bearings of who you are as a person? You're having that similar thing of what Dylan's character is having, where you just, everything just feels almost like a void. You just don't remember any past. It's weird. You don't know where you are. You don't know who you are besides your name.
So, I'm going to be kind of holding the temples of my head and just kind of looking at my legs. I'm just, brain fuzzy.
Brain fuzzy.
That's fair. So, when you look down at your legs, there is one thing you'll notice, which is that you seem to be wearing some type of dress. It is a little bit more of a, like, flowy black dress. Now, I'm going to do my best to try and describe it, and it'll make so much more sense when you actually can see the picture eventually. But, it is like the, like...
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. So, you seem to be wearing, like, a black corset, that kind of, like, around the stomach area. And then where, like, the dress comes out, it just flows out a lot more, essentially. It doesn't have any sleeves, but you do realize that you would have fishnets on the arm area. And where, like, it goes up to your wrist, and it goes, like, over the majority of your arm, and near where it ends on the beginning bit of where your, like, arm's at, not quite on the shoulder, but, you know, close to that bit there, like, halfway up to the elbow, before it gets to the elbow, essentially, around that spot. You see that there's these, like, black frills that kind of come off of it. Again, similar to the other man, to the man that seems to be yelling out to you, there seems to be some jewelry on you. Not anywhere near as much as him, but you do seem to have a, on, like, the center area of your dress, is this one, like, golden cross, kind of, an emblem of some sort, that seems to be kind of, like, built onto the dress. But yeah, that is, like, the one thing you'll kind of notice when you look down.
Okay. Can I look at my hands and arms?
Yes. So when you look at your hands and arms, besides that little bit that I described to you before, there's one thing that you'll notice with this, which is that your fingernails are painted a black. And the second thing is that your skin is insanely pale. Like, ghostly pale.
What the hell kind of gothic stripper did you choose for me?
For those who don't know, a little fun fact about this. I let players pick other players' characters, and they never got to know till now, obviously. So Acrid picked Anya's character. I sent them a bunch of images, and they got to pick from those images. So Anya picked Dylan's character, Dylan picked Acrid, and Acrid picked Anya's. So...
I regret nothing. I'll stand by my decisions.
Okay. I would look at the person who spoke just to try to see who the fuck I'm talking to.
Okay, so we will now be seeing the full picture of Strilk. So let me go grab that real quick.
Hell yeah.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Alright, so this is the person you're looking at. You now realize that you're looking at a tabaxi. Specifically, this, like, I should have set up for visuals on my OBS. My bad. Oh well, so sad. Get screwed, visual watchers. I'll do it on the next episode, because I forgot to set up on OBS. But you're looking at, like, a purple tabaxi with that, like I said, he's got that, like, kind of, like, dark purple fur. It gets a little bit lighter around the face. These, like, yellow eyes, and these, like, jewelry that just, like, up on the ears. The rest has basically been explained, but he's got this, like, dark purple suit. He's got this white choker they couldn't really see because of how close it is to, like, his neck. He would need, you know, an actual mirror to have seen that. And he has this
goddamn butler.
Yeah. And you can see that there's this, like, pretty thin-looking tail that he has. He's actually a little bit taller than you by the looks of it. Not by much, but just by a little.
Tahiro would just blink a few times and just, pretty purple kitty. Just with her arms out, just pretty purple kitty.
Streak would just kind of like stop for a second and goes, "Are you talking to me?"
Pretty purple kitty. Can I pet your ears? Pretty please.
You gonna say no, you fucking coward? You gonna say no?
No, it's just that. It's just that this is literally my first time playing D&D with Anya. I did not expect my first character interaction to be this.
I mean, to be fair, she's working with what Nitz gave her, so.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
By the way, while you're like running through your head, like, how do I respond to this, like, as a person? You start to realize like what this person actually looks like, as I'm gonna be sending her image. As you can see that this person has this like platinum blonde hair, these almost like elven-like ears, with a bunch of like with a bunch of like earrings up on the ears. Remember how he said like there's that bit of the dress I really didn't know how to explain, where it's like it's not really fishnets, but it kind of shows a bit of the skin like near the like cleave area. I didn't really know what you would call that, but it's a very specific type of material. Also, yeah. You also realize you have these little red little pupils, and you seem to have these little, they like keep your hair up. Not really quite pigtails, but just kind of like to keep it like assorted so it doesn't get too messy. You've taken literal like metal like bat accessories to keep your hair in place.
Okay, the purple kitty.
The voice that Anya has picked without knowing fits so goddamn well.
It
with
does.
his fucking character. I'm fucking impressed.
Yeah.
Purple kitty.
I am a gothic vampire with pink hair.
The purple kitty will approach you, Anya. And when he's walking, he does kind of move his hand up to touch his ears and goes, "Oh, so that's who I am." And as he approaches you, he'll say, "I could let you if you could answer a few questions if you don't mind."
I don't remember much, but I'll try.
Oh. You don't remember...
I don't know if that was picked up, but it's there.
It did.
He'll kind of just sort of squat down to your level, because I don't think you specified you got up, and say, "Oh, you don't remember anything either?"
No.
Oh.
No.
As you say
I guess
that.
we're in the same spot then.
Heck yeah. As you say
All I
that.
know is my name.
Damn.
You and me both, Miss,
Tahira.
Streak. A pleasure.
Oh god.
As you say that, Acrid's character finally comes to be as he starts getting up.
Oh boy.
So, do you want to do your best shot at saying this name?
Oh,
You got this, man. I believe in you.
Okay.
You got this.
You got this. I gave you debriefs beforehand, ahead of time. You got this, man.
Oh god, I'm gonna say it wrong. I know this.
You got this.
I have faith in you.
I struggle with English, everybody. Bear that in mind.
He just says something in fucking Korean.
I apologize if this insults anyone. Dahulb? I don't know how to say it. Dolb. Dahulb. Dolb. I don't fucking know how to say it.
The H is basically silent, so it's just Dolb.
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 There's also a weird apostrophe in my name.
Yeah, and the first letter of the name isn't the one that gets capitalized either. It's the O. Dolb.
Yeah.
So when you start coming to be, what's the first thing that you do? You can hear the conversation going on, so I don't know if you'd immediately interact with that or if you try to get your bearings a bit.
They are going to kind of grip the ground and like kind of look around a bit, like what the fuck? Where? Where am I and what the fuck's going on? And also kind of checking, like, my legs, my arms, like, am I injured? Kind of more of a, what the fuck's going on?
I got you, man. So when you start like checking, like your body essentially to like figure out what if everything's okay, you feel like you feel fine, right? You feel fine. You might
Just
feel
no memories.
Yeah, you just the only thing is that you might feel like a little sore, and that's something that everybody's kind of feeling. It's like you feel a little sore, but you feel overall all right. When you start touching the ground, gripping onto it, you would see your hands, which are green. And kind of scrunkly. Something else you would realize is that you have 5 fingers. Congratulations. You seem to have these like dark green like wrappings around like your arm, essentially. And you seem to have these like dark, it's similar to that same color, like a dark green gloves that are fingerless, by the way. You'd also realize that you seem to have a little bit of armor on you because you have, on your elbow, you have elbow pads made of stone.
Oh.
But the edges of it has bronze surrounding it. And then you'd notice that you have some shoulder pads that are more just iron. But they seem to have some like bronze like decal on it. You'd also realize as you're like looking down, you seem to have a somewhat torn up, like reddish cape that you can kind of see, overlapping this like iron chest plate that you seem to have on, and this like dark green like cloth that's covering your lower half. But even if that fell off, it wouldn't matter, despite the fact that there's multiple leather belts holding it in place, because you seem to be wearing black baggy pants around your legs, and over your calves and knees is more iron armor.
What the fuck?
But no shoes.
I still, like you said with Anya, I stand by my own decision.
Now, there's 2 things specifically that you'll notice about yourself compared to the others, which is that you don't wear shoes, obviously, right? So you can see your feet. You realize you only have 4 toes, and they're weirdly shaped. The other thing is that you feel like you need water, because your body as a whole feels like it needs water.
Okay, that gets my guess out of the way.
What the fuck am I?
So,
I have an idea.
Just all I would hear is just a
Oh, hello there. Looks like you're waking up as well.
Tahira is just petting Streelk's ears and just looks over and just, oh, hi.
So as you guys look over, you can finally see who this other little companion of yours is.
Fuck you mean little, why am I the tiny one?
The tallest guy here is actually the shortest, you would have guessed. As I'm going to see the full picture, you are a grung. I feel like this is self-explanatory. Yellow eyes, everything else I described to a T. The one thing else I can describe is that you do have this little sword with you. This little short sword.
Rogue.
Yeah.
Tahira just looks at him and just, oh, hi there. It's a frog.
Oh, that's what's going on. All right. It's just.
Are you feeling okay, Mr.
Froggy.
I see. Oh, double. How fucknets?
Dob.
Dob. I'm Dob.
Streak.
Oh. You see him like look around like, I need water. Like I need fucking water.
Yes. Because fun fact about grungs, I did not know this until I actually took a proper look at their traits, because I don't use that race very often. Fun little fact about them. They're supposed to have water like every few hours, otherwise they'll dry up and start suffocating.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Yep.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know when the last time
I
you got water
suddenly
was.
am very glad that a different campaign is on the ocean.
Yeah. Grungs need water. They can die without it pretty fast.
Can I check? Do I have a bag?
You do not. In fact, there's something that everybody will notice is that none of y'all have a bag.
Okay.
However, I
Okay.
will say, if you check your bodies, you will find that you guys do have some equipment.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What time of day is it?
It is like midday. But I will mention this, despite being in the sun, because I know you assumed you're a vampire, you don't seem to be burning up.
Acrid, how do you say your name again?
God, fuck off.
Can we just type
Dull.
our names in the chat so that we can kind of figure it out?
That's
Yes,
Under-
a good idea, actually.
that would be smart.
Does
You guys
it-
should all have it, so you should, yeah.
Dope.
Dope.
Oh, okay, got it. Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall anything? Perhaps how we got here?
No. I recall I can't make contact with people lest I poison them.
Ah. So what you're telling me is 3 very different species with no memories happen to wake up exactly around the same time in the middle of a forest.
Yes.
Well, I can only imagine this can go
What
well.
the fuck is? Oh my god!
Sorry, for those who don't know, I just randomly sent the thumbnail for Amnesia to them because I wanted them to understand. I just love the grung. Normally I wouldn't do that. Well, I'm sorry, just the grung just peeking up, barely in the focus, like, hey, I'm here.
I love my character design because they're other than being a cat, it also reminds me of Beerus from Dragon Ball.
I'm gonna be honest, when I was trying to figure out how to draw a cat person, because I don't really draw furries normally, I based it off Beerus and with his skull, because I didn't know how else to draw that.
Fair enough. Strick will just kind of sort of fiddle with his sort of suit jacket and say, well, you two, I think, I don't know about you, but I would rather not stay in the place without my, same place for too long without my memories. Shall we, take a look around for a little bit?
Yes.
So are you looking, or are you actually trying to find, civilization?
I'm gonna look around, try to find fucking water. Fuck civilization. I need water.
Valid.
Okay, I'll help him out with that.
I need water. I'm fucking dying.
Gotcha. I'm going to do this, so y'all can roll me your perception checks.
Okay, roll naturals.
Yep, roll me your naturals, and you guys will find out
Nat
your...
2.
Okay,
13.
so, Dope, your
Mhm.
perception, you realize you have a +5 in it, because you are proficient in it.
Okay, so that means I have a plus. Okay, and perception I have, so that's a +5.
I'm just gonna throw a curveball here. I rolled a nat 19.
Okay. I'm going to tell you guys all your proficiencies, and then we'll pick it up from there. You definitely would have knocked that out of the ballpark. Streelk,
So,
with your perception,
Yes.
you realize you have a +1.
Ah, got it. Doing numbers.
Yeah, you
So,
do numbers. Huh?
so I'm understanding that there's 2 numbers that my wisdom could be.
Perchance. And for Tahira, you have a +2 in perception.
Really?
Yes. Alright. Here we go.
And is
So, in total, we had a natural 2, a natural 19, and what was the other one?
Which with the 1, that's a 14.
Okay, cool. So, for you, Dobe, you're kind of looking around. You aren't seeing anything. You're seeing
I'm
a bunch
too
of
fucking short.
Yeah, by the way, actually, I should let you guys know on your heights, because that is something that would become pretty prevalent pretty quick for you guys.
Mhm.
Dobe, my dear
Yeah.
man, as a
What's up, bud?
grung, you are 3-1.
I despise you as a person.
I'll let you know. I checked the average height of grunks, and you just have like the exact average height.
I know, I'm just being a shit.
Damn, what the hell? Anya, Tahira
Yes?
is 5'4",
Woo.
and Streelk is 5'6".
Got it.
Ignore the height differences and the thumbnail. Streelk's just supposed to be a little bit closer to the camera. That's the only reason why he appears that massive.
Hello, I'm here. Hi. Fuck. Hey, I'm just schmo.
So,
I know, I'm fucking confused. Anya's character looks at the fucking... like the fucking words floating for.
so here's the thing, right? With
It does
you,
seem like my character to be able to see the floating words and just be completely and totally baffled.
oh yeah. So the differences between these perceptions will make sense, because for Dobe, all you're seeing is just a bunch of trees and shrubs and rocks, and I mean, with how tall these trees are, it kind of baffles you, because this is fucking ridiculously tall trees. These trees are spanning from like 15 feet tall to hell, sometimes it feels like some of these might even be 20, 30 feet. But it could just be, you know, perception like being kind of like shifted for you, just because of the fact that you guys are surrounded by it. For Dylan's character, Streelk, you are looking around and you're not seeing any water per se, but like you are finding like puddles, so maybe it rained recently. That could be the case, but it's weird because the ground is mainly dry. You don't know why, but there are some puddles that are around, but you don't know if that'll really be useful. For Anya's character, Tahira, you'd start looking around very lightly, and you would start seeing, like, just off, like, in the distance a bit, you can see a little lake.
Okay.
So, I know you're mainly looking for water, correct?
I'm just looking around to see what the hell there is.
Okay, so there is an obscene amount of trees that are you can definitely tell you're in a forest, that's for damn sure. It's a lot of trees, there's a lot of shrubs around, rocks around. The main thing that you'd like recognize that's different from everybody else that they didn't catch was that lake, because that's the one thing that like is a little bit more off. You don't really seem to find any like route, or like path or anything, which kind of raises even more questions on how y'all got here. Because there's no paths or anything that have been like paved by people in the past by the look of it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna head for the lake.
Okay.
There we go. Hold on. Okay, wait, I guess we're going this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys can make your ways towards the lake. I do recommend, Dobe, that you try to get yourself some water.
Yeah, I go get in the water. I get water.
Yeah, so you start like, do you at least take your armor off, or are you going to try and rust it?
I take my armor off.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you feel like your AC plummets a little when you do
Oh,
this. You can feel
okay.
like when you don't have your AC, and when you don't have your armor on,
yeah.
you might be at an AC of 14.
Oh.
And when you have it on, you feel like you might be at an AC of 16. As you can now realize, I can at least tell you this now that, like, you would kind of know the exact equipment you're working with. You're working with, essentially, a cast-off armor scale mail, essentially.
Okay, so that means I have a +4 to my dex.
Per
For
chance.
it to work. Hopefully.
I mean, it also means that when you're wearing this, you will probably have disadvantage on stealth when you're wearing it, so keep that in mind. I will say this, by the way, as you guys are starting to get to the lake, I would imagine you guys would probably check what you have on you.
I'd say so.
So I'm gonna let you guys know what your equipment is that you guys have currently with you.
I'm gonna be honest, Tahira wouldn't check.
Okay, that's valid. You'll find out as you go. So Dobe, you would realize besides the armor, because I feel like you'd be the first, because you're probably darting for that damn lake.
Yes, speed.
yeah.
I am Neum.
You would realize you're probably out of anyone the most equipped. You have 2 daggers on you.
Okay.
Your short sword that you kind of wield it like a long sword, but it's a short sword. And you seem to have a shield on your back that you seem to be hiding underneath your cape. And it has a little face. It's a shield of expression. And the one thing that they didn't, that like you still seem to have, is a playing card set.
Okay.
Now,
So I have a. Shield of-
you are broke as hell though, man. You got like 5 rupees on you.
That's fine. I don't need money. We're in the middle of bumfuck.
True. Now, Streelk, when you check yourself, you realize you have 3 things with you.
Okay.
This is something that you're kind of just carrying it on your back. I know it doesn't really show it on the image, but you kind of just have it like strapped across your back essentially. But you have a great axe,
Okay.
a javelin, and you seem to realize that in like one of your pockets you have a like homemade sling.
Huh. Okay.
And you do have that signet ring, so if you ever want to sell your ring, you technically could. But yeah.
Got it.
And Tahira
Unless
never
somebody
checks.
tells Tahira to check, she's not going to because fucking airhead.
That is fair. That is fair.
I'm going to be honest, she's fascinated by the leaves. Because she remembers nothing.
So, as you guys kind of you guys are kind of just, I guess, waiting around at the lake a little bit, because Dobe literally has to, he essentially needs to, get himself completely bathed in water, so he can essentially keep his skin from drying out eventually on him. It's just a good 5 minutes of him just basically swimming around, making sure that his skin will be fine, before he goes and puts on the armor back on.
Nits. Could I make a quick perception check? I want to just kind of look around the lake up ahead, see if there's anything noteworthy, or better yet, maybe anything that might lead to civilization.
So if you're looking for civilization, that would be a survival check.
Okay. I'll do survival then. In that
Okay.
case.
Yep.
That's a net 11.
Alright. So you would realize you do not have proficiency in this, so you have a +1.
Okay.
Now, with that survival, you can realize, you're not seeing a whole bunch. Again, there's that similar problem of, when you're kind of looking around this, lake area, you're not seeing too much movement. I will check something, though, here with everybody's passives. So, you won't pick up on anything. Not straight away or anything like that. But funny enough, Tahira does have a passive, survival that would actually come into play here with this.
Okay.
So while you aren't really noticing anything, Tahira, you would, slightly start noticing that there is, a little bit off to, the side, across the lake, a little bit more to the rightish, is kind of, the way Tahira thinks of, nah, not eastish, not, to the rightish, you know? A little bit to the rightish, across the lake. There seems to be some brush that kind of looks like it's been, pushed out of the way a little.
So it implies she's proficient in survival.
Yes, this is correct. If you ever roll a proper survival, you'll get to learn the actual modifier, but you can at least, out of this, gain the idea that, yes, you are probably proficient.
So,
Can we look for small, fluffy critters?
Nature check, yeah. Also, what's up, Dope?
I will.
Base
Get out.
plan.
Okay.
I will get out of the water, put my armor back on, and then I will equip the shield.
Okay, so you'll see that your AC goes up to an 18.
Okay.
As for that nature check, you realize you have a +0 in nature.
I am not proficient in nature. Got it.
Nope. So you kind of like look around for like anything fluffy, but because it's just like a dirty 10, sadly enough, you're not really seeing any animals. You feel like there is a shot that maybe this is like a little bit more where like that kind of survival a little bit kind of kicks into play, because those do kind of tread in a weird like mixture of, they kind of coincide to a degree. You kind of think maybe the animals aren't near the lake because people are around it.
Aww.
There's a shot that animals do get, animals can tend to get scared, including wild animals, when people start approaching lakes like this. So that might be the case.
The hero just looks sad and she's just, aww, there's nothing fluffy.
Streak will approach her and says, miss, if it make you feel better, you may touch my ears again.
Yay! Fuzzy.
The brain cells. I can't be really all that like judgmental because my character ain't much smarter than yours from what I'm reading.
Now, do
yeah.
you have maybe any theories on how we got here? I don't know if anyone was trying to kill us, otherwise we would be dead at this point. So...
Why would someone try to kill me? Look at me. I'm not scary. Right?
fair
Can I
point.
check underwater to see if there's anything interesting? Like, I wish I'd done that before, but Philip's gonna go back in the water and double
Yeah,
check.
yeah, so you go back in the water, you don't take off your equipment.
No,
you
I
go
do.
Alright.
I literally just thought of this. Like, Dope gets out and goes, "Oh, I should have done that." It's the most like takes his armor back on, sets his shield down, puts his sword down, gets in the water.
Alright, I mean, if you're just doing like a basically glancing around inside the lake, then you can roll me a perception, I guess.
Okay, which I do. Okay. Also,
I'll mention real quick to Anya with your character. Like, while this conversation is going on, you feel hungry, is a good way to put it.
Okay. What am I hungry for?
You know what? I'd say that you can't quite tell what you're hungry for quite yet, but you definitely want some form of meat.
I have a theory on what she is.
I also have a theory on what she is.
Okay. So, what'd you get for your perception?
Nat 1.
Okay. So, you already know your natural perception, or your, your modifier and all that.
I have a +5.
Yeah. With your nat 1, you don't see anything. I'm gonna be honest. A nat 1 on perception is one of those things where it's like, I can't really do anything to you for that. You just kind of have to relish in the fact that you rolled a nat 1.
So, in fact, Dobe's gonna come out of the water and be like, "There's absolutely nothing in there, and there's absolutely no reason anyone else should check."
Yeah.
That makes me curious. I walk into the water.
God,
Oh my god.
damn
Okay.
it.
So,
When you're
I would-
active, just God.
I
Okay.
would rather not touch that water personally, so I'll trust your judgment on this, Mr. Beop.
I walk into the water.
okay.
Just
alright.
fucking, I don't know why. I'm just picturing this 5'4" girl stanced up, just gliding into the ocean.
So,
Mr. Hira, are you sure that's the correct decision there?
And she's
Why
like,
wouldn't it be?
I don't know. Maybe you don't know how to swim.
"Why wouldn't it be
At least
with
be careful,
force?"
please.
Nat 15 perception. What do I find?
okay. So,
Plus
I'm
2 plus.
So I'm gonna guess that you even go out of your way to dive down to check it out, correct?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
God. I am standing just barely into the water, looking down.
Okay, so with that 15, you see fish. Like, you see some, like, normal fish. But, like, that's about all you're finding in that lake.
I try to catch a fish.
Yes. Survival.
Not 18.
Okay, so in this moment,
I like this set of dice.
Now, here's what I'm gonna ask you. When it comes to trying to catch a fish, do you instinctually try to use equipment, or how do you try to catch it?
My hands.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what she's got, and unless somebody tells her to check what she's got, she's not going to.
Understood.
So she just tries to catch a fish with her hands.
I feel like from
Understood.
Streak's perspective, like, you did it so confidently, his first thought is she a natural hunter or something?
I want to mention, the one thing I forgot to mention, that when you look down, by the way, Tahira, to, like, check, you know, what you look like, you realize- the one thing I forgot to mention was, like, I mentioned the others, like, how, Dope didn't have shoes, you would have had, like, boots that had, like, heels on them, essentially, like, black boots with heels. Streak would have had, like, dress shoes, essentially, like, black dress shoes. You realize that, like, as you're starting to go for the fish, you feel like there's, like, a handle poking out of your left boot for some reason. But you grab the fish anyway instead of checking the handle with your bare hands. Like, you, like, wait for it, you're like, alright, now's the time. And, like, as you're, like, grabbing the fish, you feel something kind of, like, shifting your boot a bit. Like, what was that? But you don't go out of your way to go deal with it, obviously. No, from my understanding with this character. But you caught a fish with your bare hands.
What is my survival modifier?
You have a +5.
Oh!
Okay.
Yep.
So I just walk out with a fish.
Yep. Yeah, it is just wriggling around. Do you cook it or do you just bite into it?
Do I have a compulsion to just eat it raw?
I will say that yes, you do have compulsion to eat it raw.
Ah.
I feel like I know exactly what she is.
I think I might know too.
So,
I just kind of look at the fish wriggling, think for a second, and it's that thing of her entire body just freezes for a second, and she just bites into the head.
okay. So, as you bite into it, it is like almost by instinct. You start to suck the blood out of this thing.
Knew it!
But this is when it starts clicking with you, like, while you're eating this fish. You don't eat the meat, but you are drinking the blood. You would realize... Wait, I should be burning up. I'm in the sunlight. And then you start to realize, wait, things shouldn't be this blurry. As you do have sunlight sensitivity, so you have disadvantage on attack rolls and on perception checks while in sunlight.
So I am a vampire.
You are a vampire, but a very specific type, as you are realizing that you are specifically a dampier.
Those are like half vampires.
Yes, they're like half vampires. Because they're half vampires, they do not get the complete weakness of the sunlight, so they still struggle to see in it, but they don't burn up and die. They also...
Go ahead, finish.
I was going to say, they also do not have vulnerability to radiancy like normal vampires would.
Yay!
Miss
So I'm an
Tahira,
airhead dampier.
Yep.
are you some kind of vampire?
Sorta. I'm a half. Here, have a fish.
Fascinating.
As there's like blood trickling from the corner of my mouth.
Slow
thank you,
blink
Miss
from the
Tahira.
frog.
Oh,
As he puts his armor back on.
I'll see if maybe we could get some food later if we can eventually return to civilization.
She just looks at the blood dripping from the corner of her mouth, just absent-mindedly staring at you, completely calm.
That checks.
I feel like Streak would definitely kind of freak out eternally, but he's like, well, these two
This is
people are
all-
probably the best bet I got into not dying, so you know what? I'm just gonna go with it.
Alright.
Fair.
Dope.
Dob. What was the thing
Dob.
Dob was doing again?
I don't
Double-checking.
remember.
Damn. I
Beats
don't.
to all of us.
I'm purely just here. I am the NPC.
You are the NPC. For now. You're choosing to do that, but yes, you are here.
I mean, I genuinely don't remember.
Fair. I honestly can't remember what you were rolling for either. Or we may have already done that bit. But yeah.
Can I make a
Yes.
never mind.
Okay, damn. I will mention, by the way, because you guys do know your races, you can basically go to your, to the, blah, 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 blah. You could, I guess, technically just go to D&D Beyond or whatever you need to access, and you can just write down your racial traits for yourselves. For Struk specifically, you are not a normal Tabaxi, you are a Tabaxi variant. You are specifically, so you probably need to go on D&D Beyond, just so you can go check out, on the campaigns. I don't know if you would just want to access it via Chrono Sheet to go look at the race temporarily, or however you want to do it. But essentially, you are a Tabaxi House Cat variant. So you have different traits than a normal Tabaxi would have. So you can look at that.
Gotcha.
That's what you would have.
Alright.
But yeah. Now I want to mention the only person that actually got anything afterwards past this lake bit, that noticed anything useful was Tahira, who noticed the brush. But I don't know if you would you mention that to the party at some point?
Would I mention the brush?
Can Dole make a survival check?
You can.
That doesn't answer my question. Okay, she wouldn't.
Okay, she won. Okay, gotcha.
I rolled an 11, a 10, and then an 8.
Nat 19.
Damn. Okay, with your nat 19, in case you didn't know your survival, by the way, you have a +2 in it, but you're not proficient.
Okay, so that means... Oh, the proficiency bonus is +3. Okay.
So,
Cool.
with that being said, with that 19, that would be a 21. You see that same little bit of brush that looks like it has been kind of pushed to the side that Tahira had noticed but didn't talk about. You have almost an exactly similar roll as her, if I remember correctly. So that's the bit you would notice. Is like, oh, someone's gone through this area here.
We might want to check over there. There's moved brush, but I also need to figure out a way to take water with me. Fuck.
That is true.
Tahira, do you maybe have an item to help carry Wanda easily with?
I don't know.
Did you
Would you
check?
please check?
I checked to see if I've got any equipment.
Okay, so you have. I forgot that's what your weapon was. I randomized even y'all's weapons, by the way.
Ooh.
So you have a great club. Don't know where
Big
you
ol'
had that.
Big old bonky stick.
Yeah, you have 3 daggers in your boots. You technically now realizing your dress kind of acts as like a leather armor. So
Okay.
technically you're wearing leather armor right now. You also realize you have a just empty bottle. And you have
Convenient.
it was probably used for some type of drink. And you also have one last thing, a bottle of perfume.
Okay, so I find the bottle of perfume first simply for hilarity's sake
Yes.
and kind of give it a smell.
What does it smell like, Nits?
It is, so you know, like, You know, like how the best way to put this perfume smell into play. Take like what's the best way to describe this? Actually, now I'm thinking about it. You know, I've got a very specific smell in mind. You know that like it's not insanely strong like straight away, right? But if you sprayed more than 2 times, people could smell you from a mile away probably. If you put too much of that on. But it's a very strong, like strong-ish but subtle smell. I don't really know how to quite describe that, if you know what I mean. But it smells like plums, kind of.
Okay then. So I just kind of pull out the empty bottle after figuring out what the perfume smells like, and just kind of hand it over, just like, here you go.
What's appreciated? And he's gonna go fill that up with water.
Well,
Heck
being all
yeah.
dual weapons, you definitely look like the warrior type. That does make me curious, though, on why me and Tahira would have these big weapons with us. I mean, no offense
Got
to Hira,
daggers.
it's just how we don't really look like the fighting type of people.
Mm.
Who
Get
knows?
knives.
Big knives.
This axe is, why am I using an axe?
But you know that when you like, you kind of like, do you ever like go out of your way when you ask that to kind of like at least like grab onto it to kind of like inspect it at least?
Yes.
You would feel like you are definitely proficient with it. So at the very least, you know you're not just bringing around random equipment. So for some reason, if you did have some memory, unless you spawned to this world randomly, you've definitely used this weapon before. Feels familiar.
I might as well ask then, do I have proficiency with the javelin and a homemade sling, too?
Yes. It's the same
Got it.
thing with the hero. When she grabs onto her weapon, she does feel like she is proficient. So it's at least kind of confirming to yourself that these are your weapons. This wasn't something that, you know, you just ended up with somehow.
I see.
So you definitely trained in it to some degree. So
Oh, I'm now checking into Grungs and I'm recognizing something.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool. Oh, I'm immune to poison.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I'd like to point out something that I've discovered through D&D's Dampier traits.
Oh.
I do not breathe.
Yeah. You don't need breathe. You
No
can
need
go
air.
underwater, you'd be fine. You don't have to hold your breath.
You would see, Dole would look at, fucking Tahira?
Tahira, yes.
Tahira. He would, now, this is a slight observation.
Huh?
You haven't breathed in 5 minutes.
I don't
Hey,
need to.
Jove!
It's just almost like the Grung sitting there watching. Because his perception's like the only thing I know he's good at.
I have no feeling to need to breathe. I don't think I need to breathe.
Must be nice.
Breathing just seems annoying.
It's just the most like, must be nice. Yeah, fuck. I can't go anywhere without water.
Drake just kind of makes a gesture that's just sort of like, yeah, fair point, actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess that eventually y'all are gonna head to that brush.
Yeah,
Because that's
and
really the
also,
only lead you have
Dole-
right now.
So it was like, oh, so we should go check out that brush over there because that might be where we were dragged from.
Yes,
Saw that
please.
earlier.
What do you mean?
What?
That's
Earlier?
And you didn't think to mention it.
I thought everybody saw it.
No. I want to mention you see that like no. Like, it's the...
Drake will just kind of try to give like a comforting pat onto Tahira's shoulder, and he'll just say, "That's quite all right."
Tahira, Tahira just kind of scrunches down a bit, just like, oh.
And I do apologize if I come off quite rude.
Oh.
Communication was never my strong suit. And he just starts heading for the brush.
Treacle,
Tahira just looks really sad.
Yes,
Treacle, say to you, Tahira, just, it's quite alright, Tahira. Well, considering we have a lack of our memories, let's try not to let the small stuff bring us down, no? We're in this together, after all.
Okay.
And besides, I'm sure you're plenty capable already with your unique set of features.
So,
Like the dagger?
Times three?
Maybe, but yeah.
And the tiny fangs.
Yeah.
Oh man, right. But yeah, you guys start making your way down this road here. Or not road, sorry. But you guys basically start making your way like around the lake essentially, and eventually over to that brushed area. It looks like people have kind of pushed through. It didn't look like it was rushingly like shoved to the side, but you can see where the bushes kind of like probably been passed through multiple times. So this definitely wasn't a one-time thing, because it looks like it's enough to where the bush has like kind of adapted, being like, oh, okay, I gotta get pushed this way again. I'm sorry.
can I
my bad."
roll an
Yeah.
investigation on the bush
You can.
for footsteps?
Oh well, that would be survival then.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Can I roll investigation at least?
It would.
Fuck.
Are you looking for footsteps too?
Can I roll survival?
Yes.
All
I got a
cool.
nat 7.
Okay, so you have a +2 in that, so that's a dirty 9.
And,
Dirty 16 over here.
You got a dirty 16?
Mhm.
So, though you're kind of looking into it. Remember how I said there was like puddles before? There seems to
Yeah.
just be like a small accumulated puddle in like the area you're kind of checking. Like, if there was a footprint there, it's pretty messed up at this point. If there was one,
Damn it.
you can't tell if it was a footprint or if that's just a random hole. For Streelk, you will see some footsteps, that have been kind of built in, but it looks more like, not really outright like footprints, but more of like, they're definitely at least wearing some type of shoe. It looks more like sandals almost. Like, you know how sandals have kind of like the ingrated, like that kind of like rigid like lining that kind of keeps going side to side horizontally, normally not like any other form of gripping. It kind of has that on the bottom of it, but it's in the shape of a foot.
Okay.
You can follow that if you want.
That footprint over there. Good as the lead as any to start with, no?
The hero would just be wringing out her dress, trying to get the water out.
Damn, the music stopped. Oh. No, that's valid. Yeah, because you are
Alright.
definitely, like, dripping right now. I want to mention that. Because, like, you also have a decent amount of hair. Your hair goes, like, halfway down your back. Actually, I'd say almost, I'd say actually probably down to the hip, if anything. Just because of
Yeah,
how much
so-
hair you have.
Tahira's just wringing out her dress, notices that her hair is wet, and just starts wringing that out.
Oh, man. So while you're trying to wring all that out, you guys start making your way, like, basically following these, like, footprints. Essentially just, it feels like you're trying to track someone, and a bit of it makes you always feel a little guilty. But you're not too sure if you should feel guilty, but you feel a little guilty. But at the same time, you really
Tahira,
don't.
do you question what they're doing?
Okay.
Yeah. But you would realize that, like, you follow these, like, footprints for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And eventually you would start seeing, or not seeing, but hearing, specifically Streelk. And I'm saying this because you have cat ears, so you're going to have a little bit of a naturally higher passive perception for specifically hearing.
Okay.
So you would just kind of be able to pick up on, you can hear some like light chatter kind of going on. So it sounds like some people are talking, but you don't recognize the language. What languages do you speak, you might ask? You only know 2,
Okay.
which is common and dwarvish.
Okay. Drake will just kind of suddenly notion to the others and say, "Wait, there are some people up ahead. For all we know, these could be our kidnappers, but I think we should take a minute to see who they are before we attack, or get any kind of information out of them."
So,
Tahira just tilts her head and starts listening to see if she can hear what they're saying.
Yeah. So
no, we'll do the same.
so when you try to tilt your head to listen to it, you would realize you also don't recognize this language.
Uh-huh.
You know 3 languages.
Hey!
You know Common, Infernal, and Undercommon.
Ah,
Yep. Dope, are you also
Um,
trying to listen?
Yes.
So you realize that you know 3 languages, but you don't recognize this. What you hear, what you know, is Common, Grung, and Thieves' Cant.
I'm
Rogue!
As I think you may know what your class is now. You are a rogue. I feel like that's a giveaway.
I had a feeling.
I fucking can't believe you.
I find it funny that I've got the daggers, meanwhile the rogue.
I have a short sword and a goddamn dream.
Uh-huh. And a shield and armor.
Drake will just kind of
What the
motion.
fuck is wrong with my character?
Drake will just try to motion to the others to try and, well, effectively make some stealth checks to try and see if they could get maybe closer to whoever's trending up ahead and see, maybe if they might be able to learn something or something like that.
Fair enough. So you can all roll stealth checks. Let me know your naturals, and I'll let you know your modifiers.
Ooh, that's a nat 18.
That's 4.
Okay, that was a good and a bad.
Nat 14.
Okay, so for Tahira, you, with your nat 4, you get a dirty 9. You have a +5 in stealth. You do
Ah.
have proficiency. For Streelk, you got, what was it again? A natural 16? Natural 18?
18.
18. You do not have proficiency, but you have a +2. So you have a
Damn it.
dirty 20. And for our dear man, remember I said there's disadvantage with the armor?
Yeah.
That's a lie because of your subclass. So,
Wait,
Ah.
what?
you have a +10 in stealth as you have expertise.
Oh my god!
Fucking
So-
wow.
We have a dirty 9, a dirty 20, and a dirty, what was it?
Okay, with having a +10, that's a 24.
24. Okay.
Fuck.
So,
He goes poof!
yeah. So, what
Wait, I feel like I might
Uh-huh.
know what I am.
you might. Do you want? I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to guessing your subclasses, when you guys figure out your main class and you want to guess your subclass, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you guys guess once the session, essentially.
Am I a bruiser rogue?
Yes, you are.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Is it right?
yep. So everything you can basically go look up the traits of a bruiser rogue, and you can
To
you know,
what
keep that
level?
in mind. You would actually be able to you'll realize that when you get into combat.
Okay, fair enough. I wanted to know how far, because I've got the sheet up right now. I've got the D&D Beyond thing up on the side.
Gotcha.
So I can know what I can do.
Understood. Understood.
This is a little
Fuck
bit of
yeah.
a stretch.
Uh-huh.
Actually, no. I'll guess later. No, it's too early for it.
Yeah,
Never
that's fair.
mind.
That's fair. At the very worst, if no combat happens today, because I don't know how far y'all will get, you can still get to the very end of the session. So,
Got it.
I am
Um,
content with my. I see. You were like, you have thieves' cant. I was like, okay, and you were not disadvantaged by medium. I was like, okay, there's one class I can immediately think of, which is the bruiser rogue, because they specialize in beating people to death.
oh man. Okay. So here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm running this as a collective sneak, since you guys as a group are sneaking. Because I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That way, like, one person, if they fail, you know, they don't, like, drag the whole party
Get
down.
caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they do get caught, it would just be them and not the whole group. So essentially, you guys would have enough to, like, as a collective, to where Tahira's little mess up will be fine. So
I
essentially,
cover her.
Aw.
essentially, Dobe, you would notice, because you had the highest, you would notice that Tahira, like, makes one step on, like, a branch, and you hear the crack, and you immediately just, like, kind of like adjust her, like, no, not on that spot. Watch your footing. Like, just like a heads up, like, watch your footing.
Look down. Like
Yeah.
he makes a motion like look like eyes down. Look at the ground. Make sure you don't step on shit.
Sakura, I need to know if you understand this. Shockingly, she does.
With a nat 18 on int.
Alright. Natural 18 on int. Nice.
Yep.
Hell yeah. You already know your intelligence modifier and your charisma modifier, so I don't have to tell you what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I.
So,
Oh my god! This is the first time I played a bruiser rogue. Fucking.
yeah, man.
But I'm guessing I have expertise and stuff, considering the +10.
Yes, I said expertise, yes.
Okay, cool.
So there's like a small group of people that you can see kind of talking. They seem to be kind of just like taking a break probably from walking right now. But they seem pretty well equipped. I will actually I have 2 pictures for 2 of them. The rest are like a bunch of goblins that are kind of like talking amidst themselves. But you can see there is a hobgoblin, which hobgoblins are typically the like smarter of the bunch. Those are normally the evolved goblins essentially. So normally if there's a hobgoblin in the tribe, they either run the tribe or they at least they're at least like higher ranked at the very least. Just due to the intel. But you can see this red hobgoblin lady. She has this, what's the word? She has this, like, little feather, like 3 feathers up in her hair, black hair, kind of put up in, like, a messy, bun, that also kind of, like, slinks down into, like, a ponytail. So she probably just has a lot of hair to the point where she braided a ponytail and had a messy bun. And still has, like, some decent bangs kind of, like, dripping down onto, like, her shoulders, essentially. She has very tribal-esque clothing. White wrappings on the forearms, these like leather gauntlets that kind of go around her like wrist and down, with like lined with some like white fur from some type of animal they probably killed at one point. As oftentimes they will use the fur of whatever animal they killed as kind of like a pride thing. So they probably killed a bird at some point, which is why they have feathers. And they probably killed maybe some type of animal with some type of white fur to have gotten the gauntlet bit there. But they don't really have too much on top-wise. It's mainly just like essentially like a crop top bra is really the best way to put it, because at the end of the day, they're not going into civilization. They don't care quite as much. But they do have this like leather crop top essentially. They do have earrings on each side. Which I'm going to modify slightly from the actual picture and say that they're literally just like feathered earrings, essentially. That seem to be a mixture of feather, leather, and wood, kind of connecting in. And the last thing is that I don't know what this type of like, I think it's called a 2-pack, I could be wrong, but it's basically what they're wearing for pants. It's just like a leather-like pants, but it's kind of like almost like a tribal skirt is kind of the best way of putting that. Both men and women hobgoblins are commonly wearing that sort of thing.
Cool.
The other person that you realize that seems somewhat more to kind of like stand out, because again, hobgoblins, and there's a bunch of goblins, most likely they're probably leading this group, but you can see that there's one person that just isn't a goblin or a hobgoblin, it just kind of stands out a bit, which is this like Kitsune Lupin person. They're like 4.5 feet tall. But you can see this little guy. So it's a lot more Lupin-esque in the fact of their body, but the reason why I say Kitsune is because they have 2 tails. So they also have the very like Finnick-like ears where they're very long and pointy. But they have this like almost corgi but wolfish-like fur essentially and tail, where it's just like orangish, blackish like fur coat that kind of covers their body. They're like the one person that doesn't seem to be wearing any like tribal clothing, but they have this like essentially like a orange and aqua blue like kimono, essentially kind of like or not kimono but robe that they seem to be wearing that kind of covers the majority of their body. If there was sleeves, they either cut it off or they have it tucked into the robe, just due to it being kind of like summerish by the fields of it. You can see that they are holding like a staff of some sort, so that might be their way of healing people or at least casting magic or something at the very least.
Okay.
Hazel eyes, and yeah. That's the person that these are the two people that you can see that stand out besides just the goblins. But they're just talking in some type of language y'all don't know.
Probably
Okay.
goblin.
So,
Possibly.
Streak is gonna turn to the others and say, okay, you two might not like this, but considering that we have virtually no information available to us other than our names and whatnot, I think we should try and go and talk to them and see if we could get something out of something useful.
and before Streelk says that,
Uh-huh.
both Streelk and Dobe would just hear.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, the fuzzy. Yeah, she's going towards the fuzzy. I don't think you had to even tell her, man. She's just on the way.
She also outwardly said fuzzy, which I don't think she's fluffy.
Fluffy.
She didn't say it quietly, did she?
She's just fluffy.
Oh, and she's going forward. Alright, yeah,
Yep.
Dope's just gonna watch this shit, because there ain't much he can do to stop her.
Okay.
Because Dope can't grab anybody without poisoning them, so he doesn't want to...
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
to
there's the
hell with that.
possibility that the Dampier is, immune to poison.
Is she?
I don't know.
I'll let
I wouldn't assume she would be, so...
Dampiers are only immune to being frightened. And that's also a fucking lie. But you do feel the immunity to being frightened.
Yay!
Also, what are
Okay.
you trying to say, Dylan?
Okay, to heck with the stealthful approach in that case. So, how I'm gonna do this is I want Strick to effectively kind of slowly emerge towards them with like both of his hands up and kind of the you know how like the sort of hey, I'm not here to fight kind of hand pose, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of like hands up, essentially.
Yep, and he'll just say, "Excuse me, you lot. Don't suppose
Here
anyone
is-
who speaks common, or Dwarvish even."
Okay.
Tahira is just smiling wide, just busy.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask two questions before I give answers here. Is Tahira just continuing to walk towards
Yes.
this group? Okay, that's all I need to know. So not even two questions, just one actually. So first of all, to the answer of Dylan, aka Streelk, you would see both the Hobgoblin and the Fuzzy look towards you guys. And just, you would see her just kind of go, I know common, yes. How can I help you? And you'd also see the like, Kitsune Lupin person just kind of look and just go, like, he looks down at himself, looks at the Tabaxi, who's also fuzzy, and then he kind of gives you that look of, like, he, like, points towards you, then points towards himself, and, like, tilts his head, like, who?
Okay, got it. Streak would also probably quickly mention, kind of nods with Tahira and says, "Oh, she's harmless, I promise." And before turning back to the Hobgoblin, "My name is Streak. Do you have any clue where we happen to be?"
Yeah, just don't mind the fangs as she's walking towards this half kitsune.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We'll deal with that in a second.
Dole, by the way, is still stealthed.
That's
He's not. I'm not burning my 24. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. It's fair, man. You would
Sneaky.
she would look to you and just go, well, you shouldn't be out here by the looks of the way you dress. You're in the forest of Kowag.
Forest of Kodak.
Yeah,
Can I make a
that's our
his-
nation.
Can I
How
make a
to
history
spell?
Cowog.
check? Oh.
Kowag.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On
It's
to
literally-
taking notes.
It's literally just cog, except you added an oo, an oo in between it. That's literally all that's done with that. Co-op.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Force of color, got it. Second question. By any chance, did you see me, the very harmless lady over there, approaching your ally, I'm assuming? And Strick
aggressive.
quickly
Oh.
realizes Bjorn has not broke his stealth, so he's gonna try to be considerate. And I don't know, maybe one more together around here before?
And I'm gonna.
Hira aggressively approaches the half kitsune and
Okay.
just starts petting his ears and tail.
Okay,
With a
gotcha.
19 in her determination.
Okay, so we're
She
gonna.
wants to pet the fluffy.
So I'm gonna double knock this out and roll like a few sentences straight away. So I'm gonna be honest here, Dylan, real quick. I did not catch that first little bit there. I do apologize. What was that
Gotcha.
first bit you had said?
I don't remember it clearly, but I think I was explaining that Streak would probably realize that Bjorn hasn't emerged, so he would try to be considerate and not specify him exactly.
Before that.
he-
Before that.
Okay, he was asking if perhaps this group maybe saw Tahira or Streak before around here, or is this their first time meeting them?
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I need to know, because I didn't catch that first beginning bit of it. That's
Valid.
what I was like, hold up, wait, what is he asking about? He mentioned people. Okay.
Valid. Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah. No, you're good. That was on me. That was an auditorial problem on my end.
I fucking get it.
Yeah, so she would just kind of look to you and just go, I don't think I've seen any of you before. But you would see that the like Kitsune Lupin, who is like actively being like not assaulted, who is being like
Aggressively petted.
yeah, aggressively petted by by this like Dampier, who is like not really towering over him, but like at the end of the day is taller than him, so it's still that like
He's crouched down
Yeah,
to
oh,
pet him.
okay. I don't know if that's worse or better. Like at the very least, he doesn't look annoyed by it, so it doesn't seem like he minds. But
It's just more the indignity of it, like, eh.
yeah.
At
Yeah.
least they're not violent. That's
he was-
good.
He would look to you. He would look to a little bit off over to Stroke and just go, I've seen you lately. I think I wanted to try and help you, but I was by myself at the time.
You.
Do you not
Streak has
remember
one of-
anything?
Streak has just kind of one of those like oh shit moments, like, and I think it shows up on his face.
Yeah.
Would you mind elaborating on where you first saw me, if you don't mind?
Last night. You don't. I mean, no, actually, no. You of course you won't remember me because you seemed out like a light. There was some man dragging you through the woods. I wanted to help, but I'm just a cleric, and I was by myself. And if he's taking out 3 people, I don't think I could take him.
This man, what's he like?
I hate to say it, but I didn't get much of. I couldn't see him that well. Despite being a kitsune and having dark vision and all that, I don't see too well. Just in general. My eyesight's never been that good to begin with. But, I did
So
realize one
perception
thing
bad.
somewhat easily, which is the fact of, he had these pretty bright purple eyes.
I'm sorry, I just got some flashbacks to another campaign all of a sudden. There's a small part of me that just got triggered over the term purple eyes. Anyways,
Dude, the phrase "purple eyes" has been permanently ruined for Dylan.
it truly has.
Dude, I
It
can't wait,
truly
I
has.
can't wait to make my D&D 4E new character, the campaign that I'm in with Dylan. I can't wait to make that character with purple eyes.
Don't. Okay. Really quick. Nitz,
Yeah.
should I roll an insight check? I'd understand if this means I'd have to roll multiple, but I was speaking of making one for the hobgoblin and the kitsune,
All right, what role are you wanting to roll?
insight, just to see
Insight,
if they're
yeah.
telling the truth or
Yeah,
not.
you can do that. Go for it.
Okay, would it just be one total or one for each character, NPC?
Just one.
1 minute.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the kitsune would be able to lie. He's currently very uncomfortable because there's a damp ear petting his ears.
Also, we have discovered he is a cleric. He admitted it.
That's nat 14.
Nat 14, you realize you have a +1 but no proficiency.
Ah, got it.
I mean, as far as you can tell, they don't seem to be lying. Again, it's one of those things where insight's never directly used as a lie detector in my world, because that's not how insight's actually supposed to be used. But you're not picking up any, like, body language or anything that might signify that.
Okay, got it.
Oh no.
At the end of the day, even if you roll really well with insight, just understand I will always describe body details, things like that, but whether or not you come to the conclusion of if it is a lie or not is always up to the player.
Oh no.
Got it. Streak would just go,
What
well-
are you doing?
Oh god. You would just say to Hira, just smile, give the kitsune a hug, and just place her right cheek on his head, just Azzy.
He is that thing like he looks to Striel as like a sign of like help. Help.
I apologize for nothing.
So they would at this point see, because Joel is at this point realizing, okay, these people probably aren't violent.
Yeah,
They seem friendly, so he will be stealth at this point.
Streak
Alright.
would then say to the kitsune, well, Mr. He kind of motions his hand to just sort of like, hey, what's your name kind of deal, as he throws off
He would
to the
just
kitsune.
look to you and just go, oh, someone actually wants to know my name. Right, okay. So my name's not. He looks at the hobgoblin, and you can see that moment of like, how do I say this in English? It's like, despite not being a goblin, he probably was raised by this tribe. And she would just look to him and just go, Namas. Namas, yeah.
Mr. Namas, your theory is correct. Me, the miss who is hugging you rather tightly, and as
Hello.
Blorp kind of emerges, he'll just kind of nod to him and says, "We woke up a little while ago around here, and we seem to have lost all of our memories."
Yeah, I kind of, I mean, I'm not surprised considering you seemed pretty knocked out last night.
Knocked out as in the violent way or in the drunken slumber way?
I mean, considering he was dragging you through the woods, probably the first.
Touché.
Well, if it helps you any, I don't know where you're from, to be honest. You're all dressed very differently. There's a town, 2 or 3 days away from here. We can take you to the Hobgoblin camp. You could rest there for the night, and I could accompany you to Pinefell if you want.
That would probably be helpful.
Streak kind of moves his gaze over to the hobgoblin, just trying to give the checking in on her, just basically saying like, "Hey, you're cool with this too, right?" Like he's not just imposing on the tribe or anything like that.
He would just look at you and she would just look at you and just kind of go, "It's fine. He's done this quite a few times already. Normally, if anybody becomes lost in the woods, we'll normally take them in until they're ready to head to a new city. It's not the first
Streak-
time we've done this."
Streak at this point would
Even
probably just
Tahira
lower
seems like
his.
she wouldn't leave him alone.
Streak would probably just lower his arms at this point, knowing diplomacy has been completely successful, and he'll just say, "That would be quite wonderful of you."
meanwhile, you could also hear in like from like the group of goblins, you can hear them just like whispering like back and forth to each other as they're like staring at this frog, like hold on. You yeah. Yeah. The hobgoblin just kind of like look back over at you and just go, "Is the drunk with you?"
Correct.
Good to meet you. Sheila, by the way. All of you.
A
probably
pleasure.
know that.
Apologies for my lack of openness. I didn't know if you would attack us.
No, that's fair. I know that in some countries, goblins can be a little bit more aggressive, and I know there's a few tribes in here that would attack, but we're more on the peaceful side, so.
Oh, that's luckily, because to be honest, I don't think many of us remember how to fight. I don't remember how I used to fight, so I'll have to play it around and find out.
I understand.
Seriously, I don't know why the hell I'm wearing such a nice-looking outfit, but I'm carrying such a
You
gaudy-looking
have
weapon.
a giant weapon
You.
Yeah, I
for
don't
such
know.
a nice suit. Like it's
I don't know what I've been doing with myself before we met.
Shooter looked at you and go, well, I don't quite know what your line of work would have been, but considering your axe has gold kind of decorating the edge of the blade and on the handle, you probably I don't know. You definitely weren't lower class, that's for sure.
Actually, I might as well ask, while we're on the subject. Streak is gonna pull out the signet ring he has, and he'll show the symbol to the hobgoblin and Kitsune, and he'll say, "By any chance, do you recognize this symbol?"
I can check, though I don't know if I'll be the best of help with that, because we normally aren't in the civilized areas, aka in town. But we
It's
can check.
perfectly fine. You're
I
already doing
will
enough.
return.
This is just. I just mostly need to. I'm just mostly trying to piece together this puzzle at this point.
I understand completely. They would both take a look at the ring for a bit, and it has like some type of like emblem, might be to like a family or something of that sort. But they don't seem to recognize it. So they just kind of look back to you and just kind of both like shake their head. I want to mention like she had to bring the ring over to Namaz because he has not been able to budge from the petting of 1985.
Tahira is very much making his life difficult, and she does not apologize for this because fuzzy.
Yep.
Oh my God.
He's kind of just accepted it at this point. But yeah,
So
they
we
would,
have obsession with fuzzies.
yes.
She loves fluffy people.
Fair enough.
Because I'm sorry, that just seems like something that would be her character.
Hey, whatever works. It's that thing of like I give you guys a few things to work with, and from there it's really just improving it. So, hell yeah.
As the Streak takes the ring back, he'll just say, "It's quite all right. I appreciate the attempt, though."
A recommendation. If you want to try and, I guess, relearn about yourself, maybe go to the Adventurers Guild. Pinefeld does have one. It's a pretty busy area. It's a small town, but it's still pretty busy. Kolwag's known for our entertainment, after all, so considering how well known we are for our gladiator arenas and all that, we're still very much a tourist town. Or a tourist country, I guess you could say.
I see.
Yes, I'd recommend you talk with them. You might be able to at least, from what your friend said, you don't even know how to fight, so at the very least, that might be a good way to re-jog your memory on how to fight. I don't imagine it would be safe to be walking around completely unaware of what your capabilities are.
I agree.
I
wasn't
that,
sure
you
that-
might run into some people, so.
I wasn't sure about this great axe at first, but once I started holding it, I don't know. I don't know what I'd use it for, but I know I definitely have plenty of experience in it.
That's fair. You would also see, like, again, the kitsune, Namaz, just kind of, like, sniff a little bit. And just kind of, like, he can't really turn his head right now. But he kind of just, like, moves his eyes more towards Tahira and just goes, "You smell of magic."
Do I?
Yeah. Smell of a lot of magic. You also smell undead.
I feel like at this point, Streak would just cough like, now, not to be pushy or anything, but will we please get going? I'm feeling rather antsy after all this.
Yeah, that'd be great. Fucking just, he's just like trying to slap out of it.
Dove is going to approach and using his cloak, because I'm hoping it's thick enough to where he can actually make contact with people.
Yes.
And not poison them.
If he uses his cape, yes.
Yes, he'll use his cape, grab Tahira, and make an athletics to pull her off.
Go for it. So it'd be athletics versus athletics.
This is our way of both finding out our athletics modifiers.
Nat 13.
Okay.
Nat 19.
Okay. So, Tahira, you realize you have a +1 and you are not proficient. Dome,
Oh.
you realize you have expertise in athletics and you have a +9.
Fucking hell!
That's what it's like being a bruiser rogue, buddy. Those are the type of rogues that don't just do dex, they do strength.
Oh my god,
Okay, so he very easily breaks my grip,
Yes.
and I am very sad now.
With a 28, she gets deadlifted by the fucking tiny 3'1" Garung, who's just like, you, over here. Stop it.
But Fuzzy.
He would just go, it's not polite to hold people for that long.
Aww.
Especially when they can't breathe.
He could breathe.
Damas would just go, I don't mind, but I do need to be able to move around and do my job.
Streak
Sorry.
kind of
You're
give
okay.
Dome-ass an expression that just kind of screams, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
He would see Dole turn around with this look of like, oh thank god I was able to do that. And he would go, well, in a weird sense, I realize I've got a lot more knowledge on using that particular skill than I expected. That's something.
You seem rather strong, Briolb, I noticed.
I wasn't expecting that. I figured I was at least capable in strength, but apparently I've studied a lot in moving people forcefully. Alright, that's something. That's a step in a direction.
Well, that certainly has some negative connotations, but hey,
I have no memory of what I used to do, and for now I will work as if it is a positive.
fair enough.
Like, for now, I'm going to hope I was a good person.
I probably cut people in half, so I guess I don't want to be a hypocrite either, for all I know.
I do have a weird sense that I did have a code of conduct, at least, probably. I had something. I don't remember what it was, but I had something.
You guys would just see Tahira sit for a second, look at a tree, and just move her arms out really quickly to try to see what kind of magic she can possibly use.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Because
ask...
she was told she smells magical.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna roll something real quick. Hold on. Let me grab what the fuck happened to my thing. There it is. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a thing here. Alright,
Yeah,
so you
she
said
just
you just stick
pushes
your arm
her hands out with her fingers extended, and just...
Okay, so you... Okay, cool. So you see a blast of energy shoot out of your fingertips. As it's like this like bluish energy as it just strikes into a tree, leaving this like basically this like giant, what's the word? Not really dent, because you can't dent a tree, but like
Scar?
yeah, like a good scar on it.
Was that lightning?
No. It looks
Oh.
like it was probably pure magic.
Oh, so
Oh,
that
sorcerer?
might have been an Eldritch Blast. That's another option.
Perchance. Do you wish to roll damage on that?
No, because she was just trying to see if she could.
Understood.
Well then, oh no, damn it! Now we won't know what type of damage die it was, meaning that doesn't limit what one that was.
I'm a little
I'm
curious.
sorry, but she
too.
wouldn't.
That's fair. That's fair. Also, what?
Wouldn't?
I'm actually a little curious too. Could Streak just kind of like watch this whole display, and he just kind of shrugs a little and says, no point in being picky, and he'll just kind of like thrust his hand out on a different tree trying to do magic too.
You like try to do magic, and like you stick your hand out, you kind of stand there for a second, and you feel dumb.
Got it. We don't got magic. You don't got magic, and I know I don't.
You tried though.
Streak
You
would
tried
just
though.
kind of like tilt his head and says, no magic. Probably some variety of a bruiser then.
You would see, and this Doble just feels like, well, I guess since we're all trying, I might as well give something.
Okay.
Hiya.
You try to hiya. So
this is
you,
more me as a person checking, and he as a person checking if he has any magic initiates.
so you fling out your arm.
Uh-huh.
Some of your poison comes out. That's it though. Like some of your
Okay.
poison. Like,
And they would just gonna go exactly as I expected. I am not disappointed. I am completely alright with this.
Alright, so at this point, if I had to make an educated guess, which I'm not officially, mind you,
Mhm.
I am probably either a barbarian or a fighter, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Joke's on you. You're just a really weird warlock. Fuck you.
Can you imagine?
I have some kind of man. I don't know.
Again, you may guess whenever. Just understand you have one per session.
I love that I got my I when you told me, yeah, you have thieves can't, I was like, alright, I have something.
Am I a sorceress?
No.
Okay.
Probably a warlock then.
That means I have
Probably.
to have some kind of arcane focus.
Perchance. It really counts how much of a magic user you are in my world. But you
Yeah.
don't seem to have one, so take that with what you will. But you
I
still
don't
seem to
remember.
use your magic, so.
This won't be able to help because you can't guess today, but I don't
Yeah.
remember Ublex having an arcane focus. And Ublex is a warlock, so.
That is true. That is fact, so that is an option.
I don't have books, so I can't be a wizard. I don't seem to have a focus, so I highly doubt I'm a druid. I
Fun-
highly doubt.
Funny enough, a lot of druids in my world don't need focuses. Some do. Like, if they're not born with that, like, natural druidic magic, then they need it. But not all druids need, druidic arcane focuses.
I feel like arcane focuses are more for those who don't have that natural connection.
Yeah,
it's
wizards are
not their-
always a must. So you're at least able to rule out wizard. But, like...
I think
Unless
also
she has some sort of deep regret at hitting a tree, I don't think she's a druid.
you never know.
raw magic slams into a tree. Her. Damn, I can do something.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Either way, though. Unless
Alright,
Dylan's gonna make his actual guess, we will continue it on.
So
Not yet.
Okay.
Um,
What was the so from?
so
also-
probably like everyone's walking together at this point, I'm assuming.
They would start beginning their, like, walk, essentially, towards the goblin camp.
Got it.
alright, cool.
They'd kind of walk up to Nomas and he'll say, "So, are we on like an island or a continent or something like that?"
Island, actually. It's just a kind of big island.
Ready?
Yeah, though we don't really have a lot of cities on the island, and a lot of it's just home to random tribes and, well, animal life. We don't want to ruin the, natural habitat balance. Basically, Well, I mean, actually, as much as I'd be like, you should know this, you obviously wouldn't for certain reasons. The entire west side of this island is dedicated to more civilization. So we have some cities. We have the capital over here and two, like, towns, like a port town and the smaller town kind of near there. And, well, our population keeps growing, so slowly but surely we're making sure that we expand outwards. But we're making sure that we don't expand out cities to the east, because the east is where tribes get to live. We're making sure they're making sure that they don't ruin our homes, thankfully enough. So you're a little bit, not quite east, but you're pretty close to east side. We're basically on the border of the areas where they're not allowed to build.
I see.
Ah.
How do we live in a world that's mostly consisted of islands? Or continents, or...
Yeah. There's a lot of islands. There's quite a few. I've never been sailing myself, so I can't really say, but I'd say there's maybe... I don't know, educated guess, maybe 300? 400? Every single person, every time I ask, I always get a different answer, so...
Noted. So a likely explanation is that me and my two other acquaintances, well, we might have sailed here separately at some point.
It's possible. We do get a lot of travelers here, as we said before. We're an entertainment area, so people come here from all areas.
I see. Interesting.
Tahira is just humming to herself, just kind of her head tilting back and forth.
Yeah, I can see that. You would see, like, fun little fact with Tahira. As you're, like, kind of, like, humming this a little bit, you would kind of feel, or not feel, you kind of, like, well, actually, I don't know if Tahira noticed, but I know at least sailors would notice. As you're kind of humming, one of the other goblins will start to hum along. And another one starts humming along. And another one starts humming along. And when the fourth one starts
I think I know what I am, but I've already used my guess.
when the other
That's
one
why I waited until I had enough evidence to back up my claim.
Okay, in all fairness, I wouldn't have immediately thought of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Again, it's one of those things where you kind of just have to keep guessing. You'll eventually figure it out. There's also a shot that if you do enough in battle, you just naturally find out without having to use your guess. So, yeah. Yeah, after, like, the fourth one starts humming, the fifth goblin behind that one just smacks in the back of the head and just says something in, like, goblin. They just stop. But yeah. You guys would walk for, like, probably a good 2 or 3 hours. Most likely these people were probably coming back from a trip or something at the time. That's probably why they were still on their way. You would see that one of the goblins does have, like, essentially what is, like, a basket of just fish. So they did go fishing at that lake probably at one point. But, that's why they probably went through that area and, pushed out that brush. But yeah, you guys would eventually reach this little goblin camp, and it's one, think of, like, the, like, stereotypical, like, goblin or orc camp where they have, like, the big spiky wooden fence that surrounds the camp. They have one of those.
Spike.
Yeah,
Spiky.
they have
Can I-
singular. No, they have 3, because it would only have been singular if they didn't have any hobgoblins. But because of the hobgoblins actually being in this camp, they actually have 3, like, archer towers, like, just in case.
Dolb would... Hold on, Dolb, are you curious? He is. Okay, so he would walk up to, the hobgoblin. Shahira? He wouldn't have... Sheila. He would go, I have an odd request, and it's more me trying to figure out kind of who I am.
Oh?
Would you mind if I hopped over your wall?
Sure.
It's
careful.
more of him being like, I want to know what my, like, it's like, acrobatic-wise, like, how can he... There's basically him actually wanting to test his abilities. Like,
Yeah.
what can I do?
That's fair, yeah, you can do that.
Alright, so acrobatics and also grung are naturally very good at hopping.
Yep.
Can we get the names of the two people associated with their pictures, please?
Yeah, I can type it for you. Hold on.
That would be very helpful.
Yoink.
Yeah, it
Let
would.
me do that. Let me do that.
Yeah, guys.
Nemas is spelled like this because it's a goblin name, despite
Oh,
being a kid
jeez.
food. And because there's a hobgoblin. Because this is a hobgoblin, they have the same. So Sheila and Namaz.
Namas.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will now make an acrobatics.
Heck yeah.
Because... And if I horribly fail this, it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make a kind of like a kind of a running leap upwards and try to high jump as far as I can.
Okay.
So, and I got a nat 16 on acrobatics.
Alright, so you realize you have proficiency.
Okay,
You have a +7.
that's okay. That's something that gives us some. That gives me something to work with. I'm realizing what, ooh.
Yep.
All the mobility stuff.
Yep. I'll mention, by the way, real quick, when you guys get into a battle at some point, you guys will learn your actual stat numbers. So that's the way that y'all will find that out. So.
Yeah, I've just gotten written down like a +4 for dexterity because I figured that out.
Yeah, that is
And I
correct.
have a 3 in strength, and I have a 3 for my proficiency bonus. So.
Yes.
I have figured that all out.
Yep. You'd also realize your walking speeds. That's something everybody would know. You have 25 because you're a grung.
Fuck.
Tahira has 30, and Striok has 35.
I'm so sorry, Striok. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Grungs are just slow.
I get the feeling he'd be like kind of having to like mildly jog because he doesn't want to slow everyone down. So it's just like a light little bit of exercise for him.
That's fair.
Because he's like, I'll just push myself and get up to 30 because I don't want to cut them down because they're being nice and that's rude as fuck.
Fair. You guys would start making your way into the camp. It is, the buildings here, because, again, hobgoblins making a difference in it, because a lot of goblin tribes, if it's just pure goblin, because they kind of lack that intel, they'll often just have, like, wooden shacks that are pretty shoddy and not well built. These, like, buildings instead are basically tiki huts. So they'll have, like, this, like, very thick straw that they've taken and used it to, like, make the roofs. And then made these, like, circular buildings. Just so they have, like, places to sleep. They do have outhouses, like within the camp vicinity as well. Essentially is what they've done for this. You can definitely tell which one is, like, probably the chieftain's hut. Because it is, like, a way bigger one, and it's also in the center of the town. And that's probably for protection reasons, so if another tribe tries to invade them, they can fight back. Without the, like, chieftain's hut being immediately caught on fire. But yeah, it's these, like, tiki-like huts, essentially. So, like, wooden walls with, like, that might be reinforced with, like, probably some type of, like, things to kind of keep it from getting caught on fire easily, in case another tribe uses, like, fire arrows, which it would be smart. You'd also see that they use, like, cobblestone, or just, like, rocks, essentially. Not cobblestone, but they basically use rocks and surround the edges of the houses with it, just for some extra little bit of protection.
In case it does burn down, it wouldn't spread.
Yep. And also,
Very
so,
smart.
if for some reason, like, let's say, it, like, rains enough to the point where they start getting a flooding problem, it can kind of help the wood, not the, the foundation from getting destroyed. Like, obviously, if it floods too much, then no matter what, the houses are kind of messed up, no matter what. But if it's just a light flooding, they can at least, like, prevent damage to the foundation, which matters the most. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, there is
Yeah.
actually some structure to this place. They will lead you see the hobgoblin just kind of give a nod to Namaz and just kind of go, "If you excuse me, I have to go talk with the chieftain and handle some things." So,
Understandable. I appreciate you helping guide us here. And he'll do like a butler bow,
yeah.
something like that.
All right, roll me a history check.
Ooh, okay.
Kira just has her tongue sticking out slightly as her head is bouncing side to side, just humming to herself still.
That's
Oh,
a nat
that checks.
2.
Nat 2. Okay, nothing comes to mind.
Understood. I'll have to bow to more people later.
Bow to yourself. Bow to that tree.
Okay. No, later. Later, maybe when everyone's asleep.
Bows to a tree. Turns out it's a treant. You have insulted its people. It's now choosing violence.
Comes out bowing to a tree and is racist.
Oh, that would be the most. Like...
That dude, it's like how like some cultures giving a thumbs up means fuck you, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the peace sign means like go to hell, like.
One of my favorite moments ever in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is when the main character flipped off an enemy in literally every single language that she could.
Oh man, I love that. I love that. But yeah, you guys would basically, Nomads would lead you guys to like this little like, it's more of like probably what they use for when people stop by the camp, because it's not a proper tiki hut, but it's more like a tent that they have kind of set up. So the beds are made of like essentially like a mixture of like straw and leather hide.
Yeah.
So at least so that way you have some like comfort. It's the thing like the bottom of it is straw, but they at least gave you some leather blankets, you know? Like they're trying their best.
Yeah.
They do give you a pillow, so don't worry about that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dolb would have a question.
Mm-hmm.
He would be like, I hate to request or anything, but there is one minor concern I have. I do not know how much water is on this island, and my people require water.
Well, I mean, there's lakes kind of all around, like, the forest area. Once you get to civilization as well, it'll be a little bit easier to get a hold of water for you, too, because, you know, cities and all that.
Yeah.
Including Pineville, which is the one we're going to be taking you to. That's, like, on the coast, so you'll just be able to just take a dip at the beach. For now, you probably need some. I mean, it's been a few hours.
I more was wondering if there was if I could be lent a water skin or something to hold more water than this. And he was like, well, this would greatly help because he doesn't know if she's listening.
Yeah.
She's humming to herself, not paying attention. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fine. He's still gonna say this as a safety measure. Because he doesn't want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
He was like, I was given this bottle of water by my companion, but that will only last so long. And once it's out, I will be out of water.
I understand that completely. I was actually not gonna lie, I was already gonna go out of my way to go grab water and food for your group, because I don't know if you have anything. So I'll be right back in a bit.
Yeah. As the big thing that he was wondering is that if he could get like a proper water skin that would hold more water than a bottle.
That's fair. That's fair.
How often would Tahira need to eat?
Tahira. So the thing about Dampiers is that while they have the ability, obviously, not to burn up in sunlight, the trade-off is that they need like probably twice as much blood as a normal vampire does. Unless they get human blood. So they get like a humanoid's blood. It doesn't specifically have to be the human race. But let's say drink blood off of a humanoid. If they're drinking off of like an animal, they're gonna need a lot more. I'm gonna be honest, like I was about to get to this as well, but your fish bit, you're starting to feel pretty hungry at this point. That fish wasn't gonna last you long. Like 2 hours at best.
So
Kira just kind of slumps a bit stops her humming and just kind of stops her head dancing and just, I'm hungry.
That's fair.
So I have a question. This is more of as
Mhm.
about the grung as a race.
Yeah.
Is my blood poisonous?
Your blood? No. It's essentially the way I run the grunts, because I think this genuinely makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that your body, similar to like a mycelium, you basically are able to excrete that poison from your body.
Okay, so it's not a constant coat. It's more
Yeah,
of
it's
an
not a constant
excretion.
coat. Yeah, you can excrete.
Okay.
So you could actually make some contact with a person and not poison them by accident.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's way better than the way the fucking normal ass fucking grungs work, because they're literally forced to not touch people
Yeah,
for fear
yeah.
of poisoning them.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole ass character problem. Like, I want to help you, but I can't grab your hand without poisoning you.
Yep. If you had a problem where like that was the case, then you would probably be wearing full gloves and not fingerless gloves.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she mentioned she's hungry. Dole did see her drink the blood of the fish, so I think he's pieced together that she would drink blood.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty
Uh,
fair assumption.
He'd be willing to sacrifice his blood, as in, like, she can drink some of his. He's not an asshole.
Tahira, will you take his blood?
Depends on if he actually vocally offers it or not. She's not just gonna assume that enough.
He would go, You drink blood, don't you?
Yeah. There's a slight hint of fear to her voice because she remembers Nama's saying something about you smell undead.
Yeah. That's
So she's not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So there's that slight hint of fear.
he would go, well, I don't know if this will be a good solution or simply a temporary one, but it might at least help you. I would be willing to kind of slash my hand and let some of my blood go into a bowl and you could drink that. That might hold you off for a while.
Honestly, it would be better than eating a fish.
I assumed you saying you're already hungry, and considering it looked like you drained the fish of entirely of its blood, it's the most like it's been 2 hours, bitch. You are fucking goddamn.
Tahira just looks kind of unsettled and a bit scared.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get bit, but it's more of like him being like, I can do this, which is like a little weird, like a little middle ground.
Yeah, so rather than letting her bite you, you're basically just gonna pour some of your blood into a bowl, essentially?
Yeah, kind of doing what Gallon did for a different character, different vampire.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I'm gonna be honest, Gallon literally just let him bite him. That was Gallon being Gallon. But I get what you mean. Yeah. You can basically, so you have are you using your dagger to open up?
I'll use my dagger because I feel like I can be a bit more precise with that.
Okay, so you will roll me a d4.
Okay. And do I have the plus from my dex to it, to the damage, or just
yeah,
the d4?
So yeah, you'll get a +4 to your damage.
Oh, good old 8 slashing to my hand.
Okay, so you go from 66 health to 58.
That's a lot of help.
I am Tonky. Holy shit.
Tonky, yes. But
Tonk.
yeah.
when Blorb is doing all this, Strick would go over and just kind of lower himself to you, Taria, and just say, Taria, are you feeling quite all right?
Yeah.
He does seem concerned for your well-being. Well,
just when Norma said I smell like undead, it seemed like it might have been a bit of a bad thing.
Streak pauses for a quick second, and because it's like,
how
okay,
do I answer this?
exactly.
So
Just that really unsettled kind of, please don't hate me. I don't want to be hated.
that's fair.
Okay, Streak would just kind of put his right hand on your right shoulder and says, Taria, you're lovely. I'm sure whatever you've gone through, or whatever it is, I'm sure you're not a bad person. And if anything ever comes up, I'll be there to help you and Blow Up while we're figuring out our memory situation. Okay?
Okay.
So,
just quiet. There's smudge now.
yeah. So here's the fun things with this, right? While all that's going on, you get to watch as your blood kind of pours. You feel like half of a bowl, essentially. It's not a big bowl. Because
yeah.
I would say that there's definitely some like bowls and like some platery that have kind of been left in this tent, in the past. So yeah, you can basically just like pour into this like wooden bowl. And it fills it like halfway up. You just need to make sure that you clean it, obviously, so the rest of the tribe doesn't find out. So you don't freak anyone out.
Yeah, no, he would do that.
Yeah.
That's just him being him.
That is fair.
He got a little bit of lawful codex of like, I'm not like, yes, I'm going to utilize this bowl. However, I am also going to fucking clean it.
Yeah. Good. So basically, like, you start hearing footsteps coming back to you, probably Namaz coming back. So I'm imagining you're gonna hide it, correct?
Yes, he would place it behind him.
Okay, cool. He's not gonna be
Kind of,
like, yeah.
Just kind of under the cloak, effectively.
Okay, yeah. So, you kind of just like tuck it underneath your cloak, and you just come back and just go, I've got food and some water for you guys. Also, I got you that water skin, because I know you can use it. I know this water skin's not exactly big, but it's at least something.
It should hopefully last until we run into another lake.
Yeah, at the very least. Goblins, I've been living with them for ages. They normally don't need that much water, to be quite frank, because of how small their bodies are. They don't really require quite as much. So these water skins are a little bit smaller than the normal everyday water skin you'd see. But it should last you, and on the bright side, since I'm leading you to Pinefell, I know some water sources on the way just in case, so.
Wonderful.
Yeah, also, here's some food. I know it's not a whole lot right now, but he'd kind of put down some, like, cooked fish that they went out of their way to go cook, probably from the, hunt.
Oh, yeah.
He puts basically a plate for each one of you guys with 2 cooked fish on there and an apple on the side.
Nice.
Obviously, because he doesn't know, there's one for Tahira as well. And he would just kind of give you guys an eye and just go, you should probably rest up. I'm sure you've been through hell today, so I'm also going to do the same, because I've been walking the whole day, I'm going to be quite frank. And tomorrow morning, whenever you're up, I'll probably already be up, because my leader's kind of an early bird. So, whenever you're up, you can find me at the gates, and we can meet up there, and I can take you to Pinefell.
Streak would nod, and he would say, thank you. I only hope to help repay your kindness one day.
Don't mention it, buddy. I'm just glad that we found you instead of a different tribe finding you. Some of them are a lot more aggressive than us.
Okay, quick player question.
Mhm.
This is probably gonna sound stupid, but I'm going to assume tabaxi and fish is like meth. I'm assuming.
It's definitely one of those things where it is very rare for tabaxi to dislike fish food.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's like herringans with carrots, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna get you high or anything, but it's definitely like, oh my god, this is the best thing. Dude, it's just fish. This is the best thing.
Okay, got it. So, how I like
Just
to imagine
goddamn
this next
salmon.
part goes is, Streak just kind of, like, gently picks up the fish. He takes, like, a very little... sort of like petite bite. And then all of a sudden, his eyes just widen. He jumps out of the chair a little bit. His tail sticks up straight in the air, and he says, "Where has this been in all of my roughly 3 hours of no memories? This is the greatest thing ever!" And he just basically starts going sicko mode on the fish. Have you guys ever seen one of those videos where it's like a kitten demolishing a raw piece of fish or steak?
Oh my god,
it's
yes.
basically that. Just like kind of small bites, but he's going so fast and the fish is just vanishing.
Damn.
Tahira would have been glancing away from the food, just kind of like trying to distance herself a bit. Because I'm assuming food doesn't really sit well with her.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she could try to eat it, but the thing is that she would definitely end up vomiting it, like, a few minutes later.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah, so I'm...
So, here's what we're gonna do.
Mhm.
Hey, Triok?
Hey, Strielk.
Triok.
Yes. He's like
Good,
finishing at the last bite of fish. He's like licking his fingers and his paws.
I'm just gonna get the feeling that she's gonna like slowly push, like secretly push her fish
Tahira
in.
just pushes the plate a little bit closer to Strielk, just very carefully not to touch it, and just kind of sits there awkwardly.
Okay, because you're not technically
food.
because you're not saying this out loud, just for fun, I'm gonna roll an insight check
Fair enough.
for Streak
So-
to just figure out what's going on.
I also don't know if Namaz is still there.
Okay,
No,
I got a
he's not.
dirty.
He did
Okay,
mention
I-
he was going back to bed.
Okay.
Okay, I got a dirty 18, so I think Streak will kind of put it together. That's just hey,
He's not gonna
take
need it.
the food, and Streak will just kind of give like a small bow to Ria, and then get back to eating that fish freaking fast.
You ever seen a cat on meth? You about to? Dole would give the bowl of like half a bowl of blood
Alright, there you go.
to
Tahira.
and then he will kind of. Is the ground dirt? I'm guessing the ground's dirt.
Yes.
So he will kind of now that the cleric is gone, he's going to unclench his hand.
Fair,
There's
fair.
a slight bit of like, okay, I don't need the cleric scene that my hand is bloody.
Yeah, that's fair,
Here-
that's
If
fair.
anyone's gonna throw a fit, it's gonna be the fucking cleric. So if I can I make a medicine check to kind of clean out my hand?
Yeah.
Okay. Just as a sort of like I might as well.
Might as well.
I got a nat 9.
Nat 9. Alright, so with your, let me check, +2, you got an 11. No proficiency.
Okay.
Tahira just picks up the bowl and just very quietly, thanks,
No problem.
and just slowly starts to drink it.
It's grung blood, so I don't know. I don't know what her preference of blood is.
So, this is the fun thing with my world. Dampiers and vampires normally have a way that they prefer drinking their blood. And they will often struggle to drink blood if it is not served to them the way that they actually prefer. So there is always a shot that they can end up throwing up the vomit, or, vomiting essentially the blood, because they just can't handle it mentally. They still have, despite being undead, they still have morals. Luckily, you would start to realize, that this is the way you prefer your blood.
Oh.
Is served in a platter. Or in a cup, in a bowl or a cup.
Fair enough.
Treat it
Fucking
like it's
elegant.
ramen, essentially.
Fucking elegant ass fucking dampier over here. Like, I like my wine bloody.
You realize that if you were to ever try and bite into a fish just raw like that again, you might not handle it quite as well.
In all fairness, she needed to have something.
Yes, it was at that moment, it was like a feral thing. Even in like a feral state, if a vampire drinks it like that, they still have a chance. It's with a disadvantage of doing it, or no, they have advantage on being able to beat that con. But that's just like a little fun little thing with vampires and dampiers in my world. They normally have a preference. If they can't get that preference and they have to drink it, there's just a shot they just can't handle it, just because of that
You know
mental
what?
like thought process.
You know what? Honestly, that works for the betterment for us, I'm guessing. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
That'll
Oh. Fun little.
So how would
Mhm.
how did I do with that 11 though? For my medicine.
With that 11, I mean, you kind of like, you take like, essentially some of the water that you got, because you
From the
probably
bottle.
figured that you can probably just like, you know, say that some of it was to like wash your skin so you don't dry out. That's kind of your
Yeah.
excuse to be able to deal with that. But essentially you kind of like just kind of pour it over your hand and try to like wash it off with that. But it's just not coming off too much. Like you get the majority of the blood, but there's still a bit of that naturally green skin that still looks a little red. And you also realize you don't have a bandage to close up that wound. You don't have like any like cloths or anything to work with. So you don't have anything to like close it up with. So now you just have like a randomly open cut.
Hey, fingerless glove going back on.
Yep, that's fair.
Because I got better.
Yeah, you just covered over with your glove essentially. Mhm.
So Tahira is looking around to see if there's any kind of bandage she can use because she sees that Dobe has a cut on his hand and
Okay.
he just gave her blood.
Okay.
He's like in the middle of cleaning it, so we'll before he puts the glove back on.
Yeah.
I rolled a 20.
She
Streak
got that
doesn't-
20.
Streak doesn't help just
Nat
because
20?
he's just really licking his paws, all the fish stuff off it. And the
I-
plates.
Yeah.
I rolled on that 20.
Okay.
That's
So-
fucking nice.
While Streelk is fucking licking his hands.
Dude, I'm
you
just
were-
mixing the most like sharp ass nails fucking like popping as he's like, yes, fucking mint.
Yeah, there's
And then
that.
a nat 17 for medicine.
Gotcha. So you can definitely hear that.
For fuck's sake.
Fucking Tom and Jerry ass
Yeah,
fucking motherfucker.
Yeah. The other thing is that at that very moment you don't feel elegant while doing that. That being said, and you there's that moment of like, no, I shouldn't do that. I have manners. So you stop midway. So here's the thing, right? What was the thing? My brain just blanked. Right, so with the nat 20, you do find bandages. Again, because it is like goblins here, it's not outright like a first aid kit. But essentially, you can like notice that like over on like a little crate, some goblins had left like essentially some homemade like bandages. They're trying, man. Okay, they're
Yeah,
really
let me
trying.
guess. It's like twine and tree sap. Like it ain't
Yeah.
much, but it's something.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like it's twine and tree sap type of thing. But you can see like where they have like a little box that they've been keeping some of it. So you can just go over there, grab it, and then you can just start wrapping that little area. And with a 17, you can basically close up that wound and make sure that it's not too tight, but tight enough to definitely make sure that it doesn't reopen.
What are the modifiers?
Yes, yeah, I forgot you hadn't learned those yet. So I will grab it and tell you. Let me click on your sheet.
Investigation and medicine.
So investigation is you have funny enough proficiency in it. But since you're an idiot, you only have a +3.
Yeah.
And sorry, you gotta be honest here.
I'm an airhead. I fully admit this.
Yeah. And then with your medicine, you have a +2 in it. So it gave you a dirty 19 in total.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
No
I'm
proficiency.
not proficient in medicine, but I am somehow proficient in investigation. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Oh man, it's pretty funny considering the, scenario with that. But yeah.
I would think a Dampier would be proficient in medicine so as to be able to not have wounds be obvious, but
There is always a shot that you might be a more new Dampier. That is
Yeah,
a
that's fair.
possibility. Yeah. But either way, that's actually funny enough where we are probably gonna end it off for tonight. As tomorrow you guys will begin your way to Pinefell.
Okay,
yeah.
in that case, I would like to go ahead and guess my class.
Yes, you have your guess still.
Am I a fighter?
No.
Alright, I know what I'm doing next week.
Alright. So thank you all.
I think I know what he is.
Perchance. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been a good time. This is session 0, essentially, of the Amnesia campaign. However, it's a mini campaign, so get it straight. You shouldn't expect a lot of sessions from this. But you can find us on the Lost Shipyard on YouTube, and you can also find this campaign also on Spotify on the Lost Harbor. I need to get that more updated again, because I haven't had time lately. But also, if you want to check out...
you.
Yeah, I know, I gotta get better at it. We also have a Sandy campaign up on the Lost Shipyard if you want to check it out. And if you want to check out some other D&D, we have a lot of it over on our main channel on YouTube, aka the Lost Harbor Tavern, where you can find the current one that's ongoing with the Ramen Harbor campaign, as well as the Brothel campaign and the Hidden Garden campaign, and some one-shots up on there. So go check it out. And I will see all you people next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.